here today we have Dr. Gani Bajraktari. Dr. Gani is the professor of cardiology in the University of Pristina, Kosovo. Dr. Gani, welcome to Egypt. Welcome to CardioEgypt 2020. It's a pleasure and honor to have you here.
Thank you very much. First of all, I would like to thank the organizers, especially Professor Magdi, for the kind invitation. He's my old friend, and we are together in several conferences. And I am very privileged to be here, faculty invited speaker at this very prestigious Congress. I can tell very prestigious because no one National Society of Cardiology in Europe has such number of participants, more than 6,000 participants. I'm very surprised. And also I am very surprised with a huge number of sessions and very important sessions. I participated in 3 of these sessions, and in one of them I had a lecture about diabetes in heart failure patients, and I really was surprised with the big interest of the doctors to share the knowledge, to ask about the updates in cardiology, and with good lectures from invited speakers, but also very, very professional and scientific, highly scientific lectures from the local doctors, especially in these sessions that I followed, and I had the chance to participate. And I'm very happy to be here and to share the knowledge of with the most famous cardiologist in Egypt and also in Europe. And I think that this should be a model or a well-organized Congress from other countries around the world and also from European countries.
Dr. Gani, we are more than thankful for your words and your opinion. Thank you so much. Would you please tell us more about your talks?
I had a lecture today about the differences between diabetic and non-diabetic patients with heart failure. Heart failure is a very malignant disease, with a bad prognosis, with a worse prognosis than most of cancers. So this is a challenging topic for everybody, for doctors, and especially is challenging for patients, that despite the improvement, despite the discoveries, despite the investments in the field of cardiology, and especially in heart failure, the survival is not so satisfied, and the patients still have problems with hospitalizations, with survival, with mortality, high mortality rate, etc. And I talked about the differences between diabetics and non-diabetics, and unfortunately the patients that has heart failure and has additionally diabetes, they have a very worse prognosis compared to those without diabetes, because the mortality rate and the needs for hospitalization is much higher in this group of patients. And also I presented a couple of studies regarding this issue, the most important studies, and also in some last minutes I presented a scientific work that with my group in Pristina I did with 344 patients, and we compared exercise capacity in these patients, and we have the results of this study showed that the patients with diabetes has poor exercise capacity compared to non-diabetics. They walk less than patients without diabetes, and we don't know the exact reason why the patients, but we suggest that the neuropathy, diabetic neuropathy, also the depression of patients with diabetes and heart failure, the motivation is lower, and also the patients with diabetes were a bit more obese than that. So these are probably, otherwise we didn't find any any difference regarding the ejection fraction or the heart itself between this group of patients, but still, in addition to worst hospitalization, mortality rate, etc., they have also poor exercise capacity compared to non-diabetics. And this was very well accepted by the attendees there, and we exchanged a lot of questions and answers and shared our knowledge and our practice in this group of patients with a lot of with the chairman of the session that were excellent, moderating this session, with the lecturers, the other lecturers, and also the attendees of this session that were very active. I was surprised because they were very active in their interesting about the topic.
Dr. Gani, thank you so much. Let me ask you one last question. If you will please suggest a topic to be discussed or highlighted more in next year's conference. Next year's conference.
In next year's conference, what is challenging now is challenging especially ischemic heart disease, and especially a couple of things that are unclear in ischemic heart disease, especially stable pectoral angina, stable coronary artery disease. That the data doesn't show so much benefit from the invasive cardiology. Also challenging topic is multivessel disease. Multivessel disease with acute myocardial infarction, non-STEMI and STEMI patients, because we are not still quite sure, does these patients needs to be completely revascularized or just the culprit artery treatment. And also the left main disease, that is very important, and also atherosclerosis in general, because atherosclerosis now is the main cause of death, not only from the heart but also from the brain, because the stroke is based mainly on the atherosclerosis, and still, despite the many investigations in the past and actual investigations, we still don't know very well the pathophysiology of this, the most serious killer in the world, that is atherosclerosis. So I think that the opinion in the future congresses should be also in atherosclerosis, from the different point of view.
Of course, of course. Dr. Gani, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for participating with us in CardioEgypt. I hope we see you next year. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. All the best.